Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you our best and most detailed formation breakdown for the 5-1-2-2. Now we haven't actually checked out this formation this year, but we've seen a lot of people love this formation. It was very popular early on in the game, so we're going to be checking it out today and sharing with you what we think the best tactics and instructions are for this formation, and let alone this formation is insane. So as always, show your support, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, but most importantly, hit the notifications bell so that you know exactly when we release new content. Now, this formation, as we said just now, was a massively popular formation at the start of the game. Everybody was using this formation, especially high up, in the high tiers of FIFA. The top tier players were using this formation a lot, and it's very easy to see why. 5 at the back is really great, especially if you're someone that struggles defensively. I like playing 5 at the back because the way that I like to play it is really attacking wingbacks. So I like to really use the wingbacks as, really offensive players. We've already talked about in many videos before, playing like Liverpool, playing like Inter with those bombing fullbacks on. It's so fun to play. But obviously, if you're someone that struggles defensively, when you're out of possession, it's a back 5. It's hard for people to break down. So it's a great formation to play in both attack and defense. Now, these are the tactics that I've used for this formation. And funnily enough, we just had this exact formation in a draft and we smashed it. We won in about half an hour. It was so easy, obviously with players that were super elite level. But our defensive style, of course, we always go with balanced. We never recommend using a press in any formation. In terms of the width, we're starting to play a lot narrower. I'm starting to get comfortable playing on around about 40 width, sort of 40 to 45. I definitely think it's better to play with a narrow width of around that, just because it's much easier and much better to have a more compact midfield and let people go out wide. There's not really a lot of danger to people going out wide because at the moment crossing is not super overpowered, so it's much better to push people out wide rather than to have have space in between your defenders. You don't want there to be any gaps in between your defenders. It's really important that you push people out wide. In terms of the depth, we've gone for around about 60. This is something that can be experimented with. We like around 60 because it's kind of just a comfortable depth that we're used to really in all formations, but this is definitely one that you could push up a little bit higher if you are maybe someone that's not getting the players forwards. But as you can see down below, we do use direct passing, so enough of the right players do get forwards. But if you're someone that finds that it's maybe a little bit too over the top, bit too aggressive, you can drop this depth down to around about 55. We wouldn't recommend going any lower than that because it will then become pretty hard to attack and it's just not going to be the most effective way to use this formation. The build-up play, we use balanced and direct passing. That combination is just so deadly right now. We don't really think any of the combinations are super useful. Obviously, the direct passing is so overpowered at the moment. It gets all the right players moving forwards, and it's just very difficult to defend because you've got 2, 3, 4 players all making runs in behind. I mean, you can only control one player at a time. You can't cover all the runs, and that's why it is so great. Now, obviously, the downside to it is that, especially when you get into attacking areas and the longer you hold position, the more sort of like your midfielders make runs in behind, and then when you do turn over the ball, you are quite exposed to counter-attacks. So it's one of those things where a risk-reward is definitely there. The reward is very high, but the risk is sort of medium in terms of being able to concede counter-attacks. And it's certainly something you have to be mindful of if you are playing at a high skill level, because the better the players that you come up against, the more they'll be able to exploit that space. In terms of the offensive width, we've gone for 70. This is really important because you have to find that balance. You can't go super wide. We tried it on about 100, which worked really well last year, but it didn't really work this year. We just found the midfield was far too exposed. So you have to find that balance between width, because you've got the wing backs that go forwards, but not go too wide that it pulls the midfield so open that people can just play through you easily. And 70 was that number where we had that really good balance between fullbacks and wingbacks getting forwards, but also not opening up that midfield. And then players in the box we've left on 5 because we want our instructions to really dictate who goes where. Corners we like on 3 and free kicks on 1. So now, before we continue, if you want us to make more videos like this, then make sure you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you comment below right now with your questions and thoughts on any other formation videos you want us to cover or any other ideas you would like to see. So let's jump into the instructions. So as always with our goalkeeper, we've got comes for crosses and sweeper keeper, pretty much self-explanatory. And then with the 3 centre backs, all those guys are going to be on stay back while attacking. You can have these guys on conservative inceptions if you want to be, if you're someone who struggles defensively, you can have them on conservative just so they don't lunge into tackles for you and then maybe put you in some more detrimental positions. And then moving into the wing backs, we've got both the wing backs on join the attack and overlap. Now, the thing is, when you have them on balanced, they don't really get forwards enough. They kind of get to the halfway line and stop, and that's not really what we need. We need them to really get forwards and almost play like wingers in the final third. We need them to get up that high because they're the only ones that can provide width. And the width is important because we use them for cutbacks. We sometimes use them for like driven crosses. We sometimes just use them as decoy runs. So we use them in many different ways. So they need to get forwards in that attacking position. Now, this can leave you a little bit exposed defensively, but obviously this is a formation that when you get it right, you can get 2-3-0 up extremely quickly. And then we have another instruction, another game plan that you switch to where you have the fullbacks on stay back while attacking. So you could just pause it, change it to stay back while attacking. We always recommend doing that in this formation when you have a 2-goal lead. So it's something that's important to remember. It's a little bit of a hassle, but it's something that's really important. So you could just set it as a different game plan. In terms of your CDM, of course, cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, cover center, pretty much the standard stuff when it comes to CDMs. It's also really important you have a CDM that is very good at cutting passing lanes. So like a Vieira, a Petit, someone like that, a Marquisio, someone like that in this CDM position will be amazing because their job really is just to screen in front of that back five especially and let the other guys do the attacking. So it's really important you have someone that can do that role. In terms of your two central midfielders, both these guys are just on balanced attack, balanced crossing runs, and cover center. They're just really playing balance. They're box to box. That's their job. Obviously, the direct passing means that when they get into the final third, they're going to run beyond. They're going to make runs in behind. They're going to get forward. So it's really important that they have the ability to pick passes, to dribble, to shoot, have a bit of pace, because they do need to get back into position as well. So it's really important that they have that balanced role. And then when you're out of position, they obviously need to have the attributes to defend, cut passing lanes, be aggressive, get tight to players. So they really have to be box-to-box mids that can do all the roles. And then in terms of the two strikers, both these guys you need on stay central and get behind. Of course, the getting behind, if you've got fast strikers, we have obviously Mbappe and Cruyff. So both those guys obviously on getting behind need to make those deadly runs in behind. But stay central is important because we have the two wing backs. And this is why, because the wing backs are on join the attack, those guys get forwards. Those guys provide the width. So the strikers don't need to drift wide. They can just afford to stay in the middle of the pitch, link up with one another, link up with the likes of Nakata and Zambo Anguissa and whoever else we bring on from the bench, Milinkovic-Savic, all these guys that we bring on from the bench. Those guys are the ones that need to stay in the middle of the pitch. Their job's just to score goals. They don't need to drift wide, and that is their job. So that is it for our 5-1-2-2 formations and tactics. Now, this formation, we love it. Absolutely love it. It is such a good formation, and it's maybe not as good as it was early on in the game cycle, but it is still, for sure, from my opinion, one of the top 3 formations right now in the game. It's so effective. Of course, it's one of those formations. There is a little bit of risk and reward in it, but we are someone that much would rather, win a game 6-3 than win a game 1-0, and it'd be quite dull and boring. So if you're someone that likes that play style, this is definitely a great formation to try out. So as we said earlier in the video, if you want us to continue to make more videos like this one, then we do need your support. So make sure that you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you turn on that notifications bell. And if you want to ask us any questions, make sure you let us know down in the comment section, or make sure you join our Discord. The link to that is in the description down below. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.